Hey folks, this is Christian Ballard. We are going to
Let's go. Get on base.
And we say, what's going on, everybody? Sorry for that silence there. Grandmother was letting me know something. So we're here, Christian Ballard, sports journalist here at Ballard Sports Media, episode 9 of the podcast of the Christian Ballard Show, whatever you want to say. We're live on both Facebook and YouTube. If you're listening back on Spotify, thank you so much. Leave us a like and a review. Really appreciate that. Um, yeah, I'm ready. Let's dive into it. We're talking the Indiana Pacers. We're talking OKC for the finals. The Thunder. Shout out to Mayhem Matthew on his Thunder. Let's go. I'm happy for you, buddy. Um, again, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Ballard Sports Media. We'll talk 3 different topics. I dropped the StreamYard link if you guys want to call in today. We got a couple people watching already, so that's good. Love and appreciate that. But yeah, dude, let's get into it. The NBA finals are set. The Pacers and the Thunder are here. And we're going to kind of react to some NBA insiders on ESPN, kind of see what they're talking about. What are they saying about these two teams in this finals matchup? I'm kind of curious. Now, I'll go ahead and be the first to admit I'm not an expert, so I can't tell you every player. I can't tell you, the journey of how they got here, other than both of these teams kind of had championship expectations going into this year, but at the same time, like, going into the season, you always think of, and I see you back there, TriStar, we'll get to you soon. But I think you always think of, um, who do you think of? The Lakers, the Clippers, the Bucks. You think of teams like that to get to the finals eventually down the road. You say they're going to be the favorites. They're going to be the ones to watch. And then you look at the Pacers and Thunder and you say they're kind of the outside looking in, but they're not the biggest like Cinderella type story. So um you talk about the Thunder, according to this article, I don't want to steal without giving credit. They won a league best 57 games the season before. This would have been last year, and had one of the top players in the league, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, previous season's MVP runner-up, who the NBA perhaps should have been featuring on its highest profile day. Um, and this is, I mean, it's kind of going back before Christmas. They were 23-5. They didn't play on Christmas Day. Um, and it goes on. So, but I would say, before I read this, I think these are both really good teams that end up making it this year. And I have seen good defense from both teams. I've seen good offense from both teams. And you just got to take your shot with this. I mean, it feels like a coin flip type of matchup, but I would favor Oklahoma City currently. Let's see. After sweeping the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round, Oklahoma City blew a double-digit lead in the series opener against 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic, and the Denver Nuggets faced a 2-1 deficit after 3 games. The Thunder viewed the adversity as an opportunity. Yeah, a lot of teams can do that for champions. I knew that they were going to bring greatness out of us. Thunder reserve Alex Caruso, the lone player on the roster with a championship ring, said the day before Game 4 in Denver. He goes on to say Denver is a smart team and experienced team, and I know that this is the challenge that's going to push us to be great. Oklahoma City needed only 5 games to finish off the Timberwolves in the West Finals, capping that series with a 30-point victory. It was the Thunder's fourth win by a margin of 30 points or more during the playoff run, the most by any team in a single postseason, according to ESPN research. Not anyone in particular, just ESPN research. Um, then you look at the Pacers, and we'll kind of paraphrase and summarize all this. They won 50 games, entered the playoffs as a 4 seed, but a slow start to the season masked their true contender qualities. It wasn't apparent when they dispatched their new rival, the Milwaukee Bucks, in 5 games in the first round. But when they made a 64-win Cleveland Cavaliers team look ordinary, the Pacers announced their ascent from young up-and-comer to conference elite. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love in sports, and that's why I bring this up, because I love seeing the underdog tales. Yeah, it's cool to see the favorites sometimes, like, oh, yeah, we predicted it all along. Everyone's going to be right in football, baseball, whatever. But you talk about the Pacers, you talk about the Thunder. These are not the teams you expected to see at the end of the season. You knew they were going to make a push, right? They were going to come close or make a good postseason run. They probably weren't going to be in the championship, but they are. And that's what I love about this. And I'm excited to see game one on Thursday. Can't wait to see how it all plays out. Yeah, this is going to be great. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring on our good friend TriStar. What's up?
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me on. Talking about that, the NBA Finals. This is Oklahoma City. They're winning this. They're the most
Oh,
complete
yeah.
team. I'll be highly shocked if Indiana wins it. Not saying that they've not had a great run. I'm just saying right now Oklahoma City looks like the most well-rounded, complete team in basketball.
They do. And I don't know. It just seems like the way in which they play as a team, and just I don't know, man. It seems like they're that team that once they get going, they don't stop. They keep their foot on the gas pedal.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, you've got college baseball going on right now. Give me 1 minute. I'm getting a phone call.
Yeah. That was something else I wanted to talk about, and we'll kind of let TriStar take a call. But yeah, the Vandy and Texas were the top 2 seeds in baseball I saw, and they got they got out in the regionals. Oh my gosh. Wright State in the ninth inning held on, and they had a 5-4 victory in the Nashville regional. And then UTSA in Austin um, beat Texas, who was the number 2 seed, which is very interesting. And I get this again from ESPN, but Um, let me see. Well, no, let me read this part. This is the second time since national seeds were introduced in 1999 that the top 2 seeds were both eliminated in the regionals. 2014 being the first and only other time. Number 1 Oregon State and number 2 Florida. Interesting there. That's kind of like it makes you think of March Madness last couple years with Purdue losing to a 16 seed. It's like um I you just don't see it. Like, it's cool to see because of the Cinderella run and the upsets and the underdogs, and you love that. But you don't see it as often as you would hope. Mhm. You just don't. But credit to Wright State and UTSA. Just credit to them. Let's double check the baseball scores and stuff here. 5-4 Wright State over Vandy. Texas got put out by UTSA 7-4. Any other seat? North Carolina in the Chapel Hill Regional 9-5 to Oklahoma. They got out. Auburn beats NC State in Auburn 11-1. That's good. Good to see the Tigers doing well. Pull this up for you. Check out some of these regional scores. I did not, by the way, get to go to the SEC tournament this year. I watched a little bit last week, and it looked like everyone was doing pretty good, especially teams like Auburn. Auburn just kind of killed it, man. LSU, they're always good. They lose to Little Rock 10-4 in Baton Rouge. Oklahoma State gets Georgia. Oklahoma gets North Carolina, a 5 seed. Let's see. Who else we got? Ole Miss, Georgia Tech. Is that coming up in football, or we just had it or something? I don't know. Ole Miss 11-9 over Tech in the Oxford Regional elimination game. Florida State advances by beating Mississippi State 5-2. They advance to the Super Regional. 19 runs for Ole Miss. Is that the highest this postseason so far? Let me see. See if we can find anything higher than 19. Or did we just see it? Well, we saw Oregon State had 20. It's the highest. I want to know what the mercy rule is. Like, at what point do you say enough is enough? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like that Oregon State one against St. Mary's. So we'll also talk about Bill Belichick's buyout a little bit. And we'll also talk about the programs that have beaten #1 in history in college football. This was put out 2 days ago from James Parks. We'll get to it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. You'll love this. Other baseball scores here. 17-6 Southern Miss over Miami. Shout out Sippy Sports Show. Oklahoma 17-1 against Nebraska. UC Irvine over Arizona State. Let's see. Let me check something here. Let's see. Who else we got? Duke, Oklahoma State. I think it just mentioned them. That's for what do we have today? Let's focus on the day now. North Carolina, Oklahoma, USC, Oregon State. This is a elimination game in Chapel Hill. All of these today look like they're elimination games. So Miami, Southern Miss again. Everyone's playing here. Tennessee and Wake Forest. I hope we get TriStar back on. Maybe he can talk up some volleyball. And then we won't have anything. I guess they're still waiting to see who moves on before they announce any other matchups. So you have everything today, it looks like. Because you don't have anything on the third. You don't have anything tomorrow. So, and again, this is college baseball we're talking of. Again, hit that thumbs up on YouTube. Leave us a review and comment, and leave us a review on Spotify too. We'd love to hear from you. But let's see. Okay. So I got two different articles here pulled up. I guess I don't know if I want to say it's necessarily a trend, but the big topic for today's show is programs that have beaten #1 in history when you get to college football talk now. Talked up the finals, talked up some college baseball. We're in the super regionals and everything like that here in the postseason. Who has the most wins against #1 college football team? I have not looked at this. I'm basically reacting to this pretty much as you guys are. Now, this has been put out for over 100 days. This was like right after college football ended back in January, or maybe even back in December or so. But who has the most wins against the #1 college football teams? And then also put out a couple days ago, they revisited that. James Parks, I've read from him on SI.com. So let's see what ESPN says, and then let's check out SI because I am interested in this. I never saw this article on ESPN, I don't think, and if I did, obviously it's been since January, and um, I don't know. I'm curious about this. So it says while the Crimson Tide have spent the most weeks atop the AP Top 25 poll, 141 weeks, no team has defeated more AP top ranked opponents than Alabama. Really? The Tide have 11 wins against AP #1 teams. 8 of those came during the Nick Saban era, 2007 to 23, of course, including a victory over top ranked Georgia in the 2023 SEC championship game. Here's a list of the teams with the most wins against the AP #1 teams in the AP poll era since 1936. Blow this up for you guys here. Alabama with 11. Most recent was the 23 SEC title. Notre Dame at 9. Miami also at 9. Their most recent was Florida State in 2000. Notre Dame beat #1 Clemson in 2020. Oklahoma, 7. Most recent Missouri in 2007. Missouri was #1 in 2007. I don't remember. Like I know that was like the weirdest year in history, and it ended up being LSU. Missouri was ranked #1. Is that right? Someone help me on that. Someone help me with that one. Missouri was #1 in 2007, apparently.
Okay, I am back. I apologize.
No, you're good.
I had to be dad for a minute.
We're looking at TriStar. We're looking at who has the most wins against #1 college football teams. Missouri
Ooh.
was #1 in 2007. Oklahoma has 7 overall, and Missouri.
So wins. Wait, hold on. So this list is most wins versus a #1 ranked
a
team.
#1, right? Like in the regular season,
That would
or
have to
maybe
be.
even
Well,
if it's a postseason.
that had to be at like an Alabama or somebody like that. That would be
Well,
like
yeah,
#2.
I was surprised. I mean, Alabama's got 11, and their most recent was the 2023 SEC title against Georgia.
See, because I'm
Which
thinking like
sounds right.
Alabama, Nebraska, like USC, you're like blue
Yeah.
blood programs. That's who I'm thinking.
Notre Dame's at 2 with 9. Their most recent was Clemson in 2020.
So who is the
Miami
#1
also at
team?
9.
Well,
Alabama.
who's the #1 team at being #1 team? Okay, so Alabama's #1, and Notre Dame 2. That makes sense. I'm guessing probably a USC or a Michigan or an Ohio State's probably 3.
Miami's
Might be
number
right.
3.
Okay, well that
Miami.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Most
From
recent.
8.
Yeah. Most recent was 2000 against Florida State.
Yeah, sounds right. Because I think that
Oklahoma
was a top 5 matchup.
Yeah, Oklahoma's next with 7 wins. Missouri was ranked #1. That's what I was getting at. Was 2007? I guess
The
Missouri was.
2007. Yeah, well
That was the weirdest.
You literally were a couple of things going a certain way from having West Virginia play either Kansas or Missouri for the national championship in football. Not
Yeah.
basketball,
Who was
football.
it? LSU. LSU won it that year with Les Miles. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. They lucked into getting into the playoff with 2 losses because just
yeah.
that was just such a crazy year.
USC with 7 wins. Their most recent was 1984 Washington.
Yeah.
7
I
for
didn't realize it'd been that
Purdue.
long.
Purdue can pull some upsets. But their most recent over a number 1 was 1976 Michigan. Um, was it? Oh, they came close though. That year they beat Ohio State in the regular season a couple years back. Ohio State was like top 4. They were like number 2 though, I think. And they went and they beat Ohio State that year. I thought because Ohio State was pushing for the playoff.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
2018 or 17?
That's like no, I think it's 2018. Are you talking about the year where they did the blackout and they beat Ohio State by like 30 when they were unranked?
Yes, because remember they had that super fan at Purdue who I think actually passed away, but rest in peace to him. They had that super fan that was battling a disease. I think he had cancer, but and he was there at the game, and they said they wanted to win it for guys like him. So
Yeah.
Ohio State has 6. Most recent was Oregon, of course. That's this year. Auburn at 5, but they haven't done it since 2017 Alabama. Yeah, that was that year they remember
They
they beat
did. They
the
did
number 1
twice in one
team.
year.
Yeah, they got Georgia, and then 2 weeks later they got us. And
Yeah, which is
they wanted to put on
crazy.
their T-shirts. They put on their T-shirts. Oh, we beat the number 1 team twice in one year. Which you never really see that. Like that's just so
Well,
crazy.
now
But
Georgia avenged their loss.
true, that's true. Yeah. Texas with 5 as well. Their most recent was number 1 Oklahoma in '08.
Hmm.
Wisconsin with 4. Most recent 2010 Ohio State. Arkansas, LSU 2007. They have 4. Um, LSU of '07 was So was that LSU's loss that year? Because I knew like LSU didn't go
They
undefeated for that.
lost 2 games. They lost at Kentucky, and then in the last week of the season in rivalry week they lost to Arkansas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Penn State with 4. Most recent Notre Dame 1990.
That sounds
And
right.
then finally, we have UCLA with 4, and they haven't done it since 1975 with Ohio State. This is a good list. I'm not here to
I'm
troll.
guessing 75 against Ohio State. I'm assuming that's probably like a Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Now, this is not like every team that's beat number 1. Like, obviously, Vandy's not on here because they've only done it one time. They got us last year. But Tennessee, how many times has Tennessee beat the number 1 team? Because they got us a couple years ago in 22, right?
The
So
last no y'all yeah that
were
but
we
you know
number 2
y'all
or
were number
something?
1 the week before, but no number three.
Number 3. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I thought we were number 1. We didn't have a loss going into that Tennessee game though. I think that was our only loss, and then in 22 we had
Yep.
uh
Then y'all
let's
lost
see,
at
who did we
OSU.
lost? Yeah, that's right. We lost to the rivals. Yep. Trying to think who else. Um Who else has beaten some good number 1 teams? What are some good number 1 teams?
The last time Tennessee beat a ranked number 1 team was 1985 against Auburn, because that was when Auburn had both. That was his Heisman year, and They were
Yeah.
number one. They came in the kneeling and they lost by like three possessions.
Yeah. It's just crazy to see like the big name teams. Like, okay, Ohio State just did it in the playoffs. That's cool. But like Notre Dame, it's still been a couple years. They got Clemson in 2020. Miami, um, is a good brand, but they still haven't been a number one since 2000. It's just crazy to see these gaps and these
Right.
margins like since the last time these teams did it, you know.
Yeah.
Like even Penn State, I know Penn State struggles with the big games with James Franklin, but like um they have come pretty close. That year they beat Ohio State the last time. Ohio State was number 2 and Penn State was unranked in 2016. So again, there have been some close calls with some of these teams, but you got to beat number 1 to make this list and say you have some recent credit, I guess. But yeah, that's a cool list. I like that. And then college football teams, I was looking from the other day. This is actually pretty recent. James Parks put it out on SI.com. College football teams with the most number 1 opponents all time with wins. I got to look at this. And I'm assuming that it starts with the teams with the most, but it starts with Penn State, who has 4. But the most recent, as we saw, was Notre Dame of 1990. The first win against the top ranked team was Pitt in 1981 with Dan Marino, both in national championship game. Oh yeah, because I've gone back. If you ever get a chance, watch that 1986 Fiesta Bowl with Penn State Miami is a good game to watch. They also won in '82 against Georgia, but they had I guess in 1990 they beat the Irish in South Bend. Arkansas, most recent was LSU 2007. And just kind of talked about that there. Oh wait, there we go. Okay. Let's see who else. UCLA, 1975 Ohio State. They've beat number 1 4 times. Wisconsin, Ohio State 2010, Texas 2008. Purdue, Michigan 1976. Yes, it's kind of reiterating some of these teams that
Mhm.
ESPN had. I think it's probably just a copied article. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying it's plagiarized or nothing, but it's probably just the same old thing. USC hasn't beat number 1 since '84. It
Well,
looks like with
yeah.
Washington,
Yeah.
Miami, Florida State 2000, Clemson 2020 for Notre Dame, Alabama have not done it since Georgia of 2023. So, oh, here we go. Let's check this out. College football's most toxic fans revealed in new rankings. Heck yeah. I can't wait. Let's go. Who's the most toxic? Who would you guess is first on this list?
Texas, Ohio
Texas?
State, or Ohio State, probably.
Well, they got Ohio State pictured. And full list. Ohio State, 10 out of 10. Florida, 8.9 out of 10. Florida?
I mean, yeah, if you're talking like
mean, they can be.
2009, yeah.
Yeah,
Florida
they
in
can.
'09, yeah, but
I don't think they're toxic today. Not too much. I mean, there's guys calling Uncle Lou saying that they're a blue blood, but that's, I mean, come on. That's one guy. I don't view him as that toxic today, other than maybe Octavian. Octavian, if you're watching, I love you, buddy, but you ain't win nothing with Sunbelt Billy. Georgia, 8.8 out of 10. They are getting on my nerves. Colorado, listen, I haven't met any Colorado fans yet, but I see it on Twitter. I do. I'll admit that. Plus, I mean, you got to think too. This was put out on yesterday, so this was yesterday. So this is this year's list. It's not like this is 10 years ago or all time. I mean, it's talking today. Who else we got here? Miami at 5, Tennessee at 6. TriStar 8.2 out of 10 for toxic.
I mean, I can believe that.
Yeah. Alabama's just well, no, Texas is next and then Alabama. And then Florida State and then Michigan. I I feel like I would change these rankings a little bit though. Like I don't know how. I'm trying to think. So, like Michigan cheated to win a title, but they were also probably the best team that year. But I don't think their fans are that toxic. So I guess I mean I could put them top 10, but oh, I don't know. Ohio State might forever be number 1 on this list. That's tough. If you guys hear any banging, they're doing some work at the house, so I apologize. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I think, man, that's all I came up with for today's show. Sorry for that silence and again that banging, but um, yeah, I think that might do it for today. I don't know. Like I kind of part of me wants to get off, but part of me doesn't. You know, it's weird. Anyway, yeah, let's I guess we'll kind of get out of here. I'll keep in touch with you guys. We'll be here Wednesday. I think Wednesday we'll do some team previews, some more, and I don't know. I don't really feel up for it today for some reason. It's just weird, but I love you guys. We'll get out of here. Thanks for listening on Spotify. Thank you for watching on YouTube and Facebook as well. If you like it, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time here on the Christian Ballard Show. I love y'all.
Hey folks, this is Christian Ballard. We are